New Zealand loves Italian culture. We drink a lot of their coffee. We love their cuisine. But in recent years, we haven't bought a huge number of their cars. Could that change with the launch of the new Fiat 500e? Let's find out. Now, if only I had some dry Italian weather today, but anyway, doesn't this thing look cute? It's enough to brighten your day, I think. I love the look of this car. Now, it's still a very small hatchback, 2 doors only, but it's quite a bit bigger. It's 56 millimeters wider and 61 millimeters longer, and it does make a big difference. This does feel like a bigger, more spacious car than the old model. Now, it does share some technology with its Stellantis brand mates. There is a little bit of Peugeot 208e in here, similarly with the Opel Corsa, but this does have a smaller battery. It's a 42 kilowatt hour unit. Range is decent. It's 250 to 280 kilometers, I think, in the real world, compared to the 320 WLTP. Fairly efficient, about 15 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers on a mixed cycle, not doing anything particularly special. It's got some great details around the place, these gorgeous little lights. These wheels, I think, just look fantastic. And you've got little 500e badges tucked around the place to go and find. And these really neat lights up here that are a homage to the little lights on the original. So that's it from the outside. Let's go have a look inside. Now, as we mentioned before, the car is slightly bigger and it does feel it inside. In fact, for front seat passengers, this feels really spacious. You're nice and upright, so you've got plenty of leg room, and it feels airy, particularly with this little sunroof here. It's got a nice little diffuser there that really does help light the interior and make it feel more spacious than it is. Now, you've got a big infotainment screen here. You've got a digital screen in front of the driver here for all those critical bits of information. It feels really modern, really nice, and really easy to use. Now, I know there's a few jokes around there about Italian electronics, but this stuff works. I mean, obviously it is shared with the broader Stellantis group, and I think that definitely helps. Now, you've got some nice touches here and good storage as well. And if I get my measuring stick, we've got a big wireless charger there for your phone, USB-A. You've got down here a USB-A and a USB-C. Storage bins in the doors, and more storage down here underneath the armrest. Now, that one won't take a full pack of pasta and clothes. Very disappointing Fiat. And of course, you've got a nice big glove box here. Now, some interesting quirks about the controls here. The doors use a push button to open. There's no mechanical handle. There's an emergency release down there, like a Tesla, and that works great. The start button up here, it's actually the same kind of button as the doors. But then the drive buttons are here along the dashboard, and they do take quite a firm push, and I find myself more often than not having to push them twice to get into the drive mode that I want. So if I push drive now, there you go, I had to push it twice to get in there. I found that a little bit annoying. Now, rear seat space, it is tight. You will get kids in there, adults at a push. I believe overseas Fiat markets this as a 3+1, so the idea being the passenger seat slides forward, 2 adults there and then maybe a kid behind the driver. But it is actually still a little more spacious and more comfortable than the Mini Cooper E, which of course is going to be the biggest competition. Similarly, the boot is small, but it's good enough for a couple of shopping bags or a couple of overnight bags. You've got to remember, it's a small car. It's actually still pretty practical for what it is. Right, so let's take this for a drive. Because it's so small, Italian job style, I know it's not a Mini, but they were being chased by Fiat. We're going to stay here within the complex. Now, the car has 3 drive modes. You have normal, and then you have range, which of course just dials everything down to get just that little bit further, and Sherpa, which I'm guessing is just set up so the thing will lug along all day. Interesting choice of words, but it's an interesting choice of car. This car doesn't have a huge amount of power. It's 87 kilowatts and 220 newton meters. But if I put my foot down, it really does take off, because you've got to remember it's relatively light, it's relatively small, and it's got that 42 kilowatt hour battery. Now, the steering and the handling wise are just great. The steering does take a few turns, but it feels really nice and crisp. It's nicely weighted. It's just a really fun, engaging car to drive. It corners nice and flat because of that short wheelbase. It wants to eat up corners, and you can just have a huge amount of fun even at slow speeds driving the Fiat 500e. Now, once you do get to the end of that range, as we said, we think it'll do about 250, 280 kilometers, you can actually fast charge this. You couldn't do that with the original Fiat 500e. I believe it technically will charge up to about 100 kilowatts. We saw about 80, 85 when we were fast charging it. The car's relatively efficient. So you can cover reasonable distances without spending too much time at the fast charger. This really is best for the city, but it'll get you out there on a weekend if you really have to. So the Fiat 500e. Now, I genuinely enjoy and love this car. It is such a cool little electric vehicle that has so much of that Italian charm, the presence you would expect from a kind of retro, modern, classic type vehicle. But it's actually pretty practical, has really good electric vehicle drivetrain, great technology, and the price isn't too bad. So this car is tested here as $59,990 for the Pop model. Now you can spend more, you can spend $64,990 and get a slightly nicer interior, a leather finish, all that kind of stuff. I wouldn't bother. This cheaper and cheerful model here is exactly the one you want. Now if you want more performance, you can wait. There is an A-Bath model coming that's going to be pretty special as well, I think. But don't, just go for this one, it's pretty cool. So thanks for watching this video. Now don't forget to go down below, like, subscribe, ring the bell, check out more of our great videos on EVs and beyond. I'm going to go eat some pasta.